is your idea of a good time, boy, you have a problem. You know, subhanallah. I don't like to attack Muslims. I really don't. I don't want to attack Muslims. I want to work with Muslims. Really, I want to work with Muslims. And as far as I'm concerned, this deen encompasses a lot of different opinions. And one of the beauties of this deen, unlike other religions, is we don't have one fixed opinion that if you don't follow it, you're out of the pale of the teaching. We don't have, no, we have broad. Our way is a mahajja. Mahajja in Arabic means a broad road. A clear, broad road. Mahajja. تركتكم على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. It's so wide that if you deviate from it, you're finished. Because it's pits on both sides. It encompasses a lot. We don't make takfir by even the ulama. If you study, fiqh, which people don't, if you study ahkam al-ridda, there's ahkam related to calling somebody a kafir. There's rules. If you don't know them, you better shut your mouth. You better shut your mouth, because the Prophet said, whoever calls a Muslim a kafir, one of them's kafir. And that's in Sahih Muslim. One of them's kafir. So if you feel so secure in your iman that you can go around and afford to call other Muslims non-Muslim, then good luck. Good luck. I wish you the best. So we have to do something. We really do. And I'll tell you something, the people of this Deen Intensive, because this is one of the strategies that a group of brothers conceived as an attempt to start educating Muslims in some fundamentals, some basic fundamentals of Islam. That's all, that was our intention, just to kind of cut through a lot of the confusion and just, let's look at what our Deen teaches us. Let's look at it. And so that's one of the things we did. But they invited me here and said, we want to do a fundraiser to help you in some of the activities you're doing, and also to support some of the brothers overseas in Syria. I did not request that. And as far as I'm concerned, give your money to whoever you want. Give it to whoever you want. I'm not necessarily asking for it. There's other brothers and sisters that are doing activities. Al-aqrabun awla bil ma'ruf. The people in Toronto, they have more right to your money than I do. But give your money, support activities, rejoice when a new masjid opens, when a new madrasa opens, when people start coming into this deen, because they're coming in now. I'm seeing this. There are people coming into this deen now, and we have to be able to accommodate those that we have and to accommodate those that are coming in, because it's happening. We have a crisis in the American prison system. Because we have so many Muslims. I was there not that long ago, and I gave a talk. 6 people became Muslim, said Shahada after it. One of the sheikhs that we brought from Mauritania, our community, went and gave a talk, and 10 people become Muslim. One of the brothers, Askiya Muhammad, who is the head of the Governor's Commission on Drug Abuse and a youth authority speaker, went to the youth authority, gave a talk. 40 men under the age of 18 embraced Islam after his talk. 40 men. Well, what are we going to do? Because it's not just saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There's all of this stuff suddenly that we as a community are responsible for these people. And now there's people at the intellectual levels that are getting interested in Islam. There's people really, it's happening. And there's a point where it's going to reach critical mass. It will, because this is the deen of Allah. And we have a promise from Allah that it will complete its light, that it will be in every house. بِعِزِّ عَزِيزٍ أَوْ ذُلِّ ذَلِيلٍ. It will be in every house, Islam. It already, in a sense, that's already starting to happen, because Islam is the hot topic. And they're scared. And the only people that are scared, like Malcolm used to say, are the wolves that want to prey on the sheep. Because Islam is about protecting the sheep. It's about protecting the weak from wolves. So those are the people that are worried. And they put fear in the hearts of the sheep because they want to eat them for lunch. And the wolf eats the one that strays from the flock. So when the Muslims are united, we don't have to worry about wolves. And the only thing that I've ever seen in the history of Islam that's united us is knowledge. When there are ulama to guide us, when there are fuqaha to give us proper opinions, despite their diversity, that they're true and proper, and we recognize that to make a munkar, you have to know that it's a munkar. You have to believe that there's a benefit in doing it, and that the benefit is greater than harm that might come about from attacking the munkar, and that the munkar is mujma' alayh, that all the ulama are in agreement about it. A lot of people don't know those rules. But those are the rules that the ulama have given us. But a lot of people don't know those rules. There's a time when you shouldn't condemn a munkar because it'll lead to a fitna greater than what you're condemning. And you have There's a time when you shouldn't condemn a munkar because it'll lead to a fitna greater than what you're condemning. And you have مَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. If Allah wants good for someone, He gives them understanding of this deen. وَإِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge is acquired painfully through the act of learning. Imam al-Qarafi says about this hadith, المبتدا محصور في الخبر. In Arabic grammar, the mubtada is contained in what's being told in the sentence. والشرط محصور في المشروط. And the condition is contained in what is conditioned. So he says, Allah's irada of khair, His desire for khair for somebody, is based on that person understanding their religion. If they don't understand their religion, it means Allah didn't want good for them. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us fiqh in the deen, to understand the deen. Just the last thing, and I'm done. This is from a book about the whole Islamic educational system and its impact on the West. He says, Muslim institutionalized education was religious, privately organized, and open to all Muslims who sought it. There is a young man came to me the other day and said, I want to study. Where can I study? I can't get into Medina because they have a condition, you have to be 24, less under 24. He said, I can't go to this place because of this. I can't go. And he asked me, he said, why is it so easy to go to school here and so hard to go to school in the Muslim world? Well, if you find out the answer to that, you'll understand why we're in the conditions that we're in and why these people are ruling the world. If you understand the answer to that question, you will understand why these people are ruling the world and we're in the conditions that we're in. I don't think there's any other answer. And I told him, the thing that breaks my heart is when the ulama and the fuqaha were teaching in the mosques of this ummah from Indonesia to Morocco. Their halaqah was open and anybody could sit in it. They had students that would sit for 20 years, but if you were a worker, a laborer, and you came in to pray dhuhr and you wanted to sit in that halaqah and listen to the words of that scholar, you had every right to do that. You didn't have to pay a fee. You didn't have to sign up for the course. You didn't have to put the conditions down, fulfill the conditions to get into the university. You simply had the right as a Muslim to sit and learn your deen. And it was an obligation on this ummah to produce men and women that could sit in that circle and teach those people. That is an obligation. It's a wajib. Just as it's a wajib to learn, it's a wajib to teach. And just as it's a wajib upon us to learn, it's a wajib upon us to spend from our wealth in order to create privately maintained institutions, not government institutions, because we know what the political agenda of our governments are. We know what they are. And the destruction of Islam begins with the appointment of an official mufti. That's the beginning, and it happens in the 14th century. The mufti becomes a political position, and at that point, the ruler starts telling him, we need a fatwa. You see. So our institutions were maintained private.